Hey everyone! Happy Wednesday, or whatever day of the week you happen to be watching this. I am thrilled to be bringing you another lesson, and today we're going to talk about something that's really important for you to fully understand, and that is the character trait fairness. What it means to be fair, what fairness means versus what people might think it means. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so a lot of people get fairness confused with things being equal. Like, have you ever heard your classmates say, or one of your friends say, "That's not fair. He got to sit in that chair over there and I didn't get to." That is one of the times that somebody is confusing what is fair to what is equal. Um, if something is fair, it means that let me start with the quote because that would make more sense since it's up here. Fair isn't everyone getting the same thing, so it doesn't mean if it's carpet time and one of you gets to sit in a chair that all of you should get to sit in the chair to be fair. What fair is that everyone gets what they need in order to be successful. Now think to yourself, do you need the same tools and the same things to be successful as the person sitting next to you? Or all the other students in the classroom? Everyone has different needs. I have a very, very difficult time starting on tasks. I don't like to be a procrastinator, but sometimes my ADHD and my ability to get distracted really hurt my ability to get started on tasks really quickly. I know this about myself. I don't use it as an excuse. I still have the same deadlines as all of my other coworkers, but what I do know is that if I set a timer for myself, whenever I start a task, I will get started on that task so much quicker. But that doesn't mean that that's what my neighbor Dr. B needs to help her when she's getting work done. That doesn't mean that that's going to be right for you either, but that's what I need. So is it fair for me to have what I need to be successful, even though it's not what everyone has? Yes, it absolutely is. And the same is true for you. We want all of our students to have exactly what they need to be successful in all situations. Let's go back to this presentation just for a moment. So remember this quote because it's so important. Fair isn't everyone getting the same thing. You don't all need timers to start on tasks. You don't all need chairs when it's time for carpet time. You don't all need a fidget to hold during a lesson to help you stay on task. You won't all need a special kind of overlay for your papers to help your eyes. You don't all need glasses, because only some of you get super cool looking glasses because you need them to see better. Fair is everyone getting what they need in order to be successful. So let's think about this. Here are two different pictures. This picture over here on the left is what equality looks like. Each of these three people got the same size box to stand on so that they could see that baseball game. Now, that might be okay for this person in the blue and in the red, but is that fair for this person in the purple? No, that person in the purple can't see what's going on. So let's look right over here. In this picture, we're looking at equity, or a more fair situation, because everyone can enjoy themselves in this situation. But look, this person in the blue, his crate is no longer underneath him because he doesn't need it to see over the wall. Instead, his crate is right over here so that this person in the purple is able to see. All three people are able to enjoy in this experience, and they're able to find success in seeing the baseball game. But it's not an equal situation. So please, please try not to focus on what you get compared to what somebody else gets, or if somebody in the class gets to do something that looks really fun, you can ask the teacher about it and there might be a chance when you can try it, but if it's something that someone else needs and you're able to be successful without it, then I don't want you to stress about having it, because we all need different things. There might be a time that you need something to help you learn that others don't require. something like this extra crate that this person in purple needed to see that baseball game. Something like my timer that I have to get started on tasks. Another important thing to think about when you're thinking about fairness is what we ask of ourselves and things that are realistic. So I included this comic, and I'm sure that many of you have thought about this concept, especially our older students. I know that you're reading a couple different books that would allude to this. So this comic says, for a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. Let's think about that. Is this elephant going to be able to climb that tree? No. This goldfish? That goldfish bowl is not some special robotic goldfish bowl that's going to help it to climb the tree, even though that would be awesome. That's not what it is. The only one really that's going to be able to climb that tree is going to be who? This monkey right here, right? So this gentleman right here is using the word fair in the wrong way. He is saying we're going to have a fair selection, but what he means is we're going to give you all this equal opportunity, not what they need, but equal. So they are having this test given to them, but it's not appropriate for everyone. Have you ever felt like, I'm really good at so many things, but I'm not good at this? Even though it's something that I have to do, I just don't feel like I'm that good at it. Or have you ever worried about your classmates being better than you at other things? Or have you ever wondered, why am I such an amazing runner and some of my classmates can't run that fast at all? These are some of the character traits that we have, or not character traits, but attributes that we have that make us who we are. And it's wonderful that we're all made up in different ways. We don't have to be the same in our talents and our abilities. When you're in school, we are asking you to really focus as hard as you can on your schoolwork, but we're not asking you to be perfect. We're asking you to try your best, learn from your mistakes, and be willing to learn new things. All that you learn in school, whether it's how to get along with your friends, or how to read a book, or how to follow weather patterns, those are all really important life skills. But I don't want you being really hard on yourself if you don't feel like you're getting the best grades. I drew up some mock test scores for us to review, and I'm going to show you an Excel spreadsheet. It's very fancy, but it's just a way for us to look at those scores together. So take a look at this. All right, so in my fancy handy-dandy Excel spreadsheet, we have student A, and let's look at student A and what they're doing in class. Oh, on test number 1, they made 100, then a 95, then a 90, another 90, 95, back to 90, 90, 90, and an 89 on their final test. So let's think about how much effort it looks like this student A is putting into their work. It looks like they started out with a really solid understanding of whatever it was that they were learning. And then they dropped down a little bit, and then a little bit more, and they kind of stayed around that area the whole time. So student A, even though they've got quote unquote really good grades, they aren't necessarily challenging themselves to grow as a student. But let's look at student B. Oh, and student A is this beautiful blue line right here on this line graph. Then student B starts out the class with a 60. And we know from getting grades in class that you usually, to show mastery, need to have higher than a 60. But look at what student B does over the course of these 9 tests. They have a 60, then they got a 65, which that's great. It's a little bit better than last time. Then a 70, and then up to a 75. They were able to stay at a 75 for 3 tests, and then they went up to an 80. All the way until test number 9, they got up to an 82. So you might be thinking to yourself, an 82? I want to be getting hundreds. But think about it. If you start out on something with a lower score, or you don't have a full understanding of it, getting up to an 82 is a lot of growth. Let's look at these lines. Student B, their line is this red line. Look, all they're doing is going up higher and higher and higher because they are really putting in the time and the effort to grow. And you know what? With how much student B is working and putting in time and effort, they can continue to grow just a little bit or plateau, and they are doing some excellent work with their understanding. Let's think about when you first learned how to write, when you first started learning your letters, or if you're still learning your letters and your letter sounds. These are really important concepts that you need to learn, but you can't learn them and keep your brain open to understanding new information if you get upset when you think about what other people know. If you continue to compare yourself to other people, guess what? You're not being fair to yourself. You need to remember that you are a unique individual and you have your own needs. You might not know all of the needs that you have as a student or as an individual, but you're going to continue to learn them each and every year as you continue to grow in school and out of school. So take note when you know that you need something special to help yourself learn. Another thing I've learned about myself, I need to be able to see something to remember it a little bit better. Sometimes when somebody introduces themselves to me, I'll say their name again, but then I'll say, hold on, how do you spell that? And I'll try to spell it out in my head. So I almost am closing my eyes thinking, okay, your name is Bob, so that's B-O-B. So I'm putting it in my head. I'm trying to make a mental picture because I know if I see a picture of something, I am going to remember it better than if I've just heard it with my ears. That goes into learning styles, which you may have already talked about in your class, and if not, that's a wonderful thing to get to know about yourself. But for today, we're just focusing on fairness versus equality. Be fair to yourself. Remember that fairness is not equal. What other people have, you might not need. What you need, other people might not have. And all of those things are okay because the bottom line is we are all working together to be successful, and we all want to have exactly what we need to reach each of our levels of success. So I hope you have a wonderful day, explorers. Make sure that you're keeping your minds open to new opportunities, and make sure you're treating everyone fairly and with respect.